Hello, welcome to Majority Rules. This is season 1, episode 8. I think technically, if you count the one I did last night, it's 9, but we're going to go with 8 for the main show. This is a podcast about Mizzou Athletics Majority, which is Olympic sports athletes. We've got most of us here tonight. Abigail has a video prepared that will be added later. But hi guys, how's everyone doing? So
fall allergies and sicknesses have begun.
We're all struggling here. I'm on my second podcast in 24 hours. I don't know about talking this much.
It's only Tuesday, yet I feel like it's been 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Rory's doing homecoming stuff, and while everyone slowly dies around her.
Yeah, literally.
Dylan's sick. I have a terrible cough. Matthew's okay.
Stay strong,
Matthew, are you
Matthew.
okay?
Stay strong.
For now.
Yeah.
For now. You are sitting close together. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of volleyball to cover this weekend. You better keep your germs to yourself, Dylan. So anyway, I'm already off track. We haven't even introduced ourselves. I'm Karen Steger. Hi. I'm the host of this lovely podcast. I'm the softball, gymnastics, and sometimes swimming beat writer at Rock M Nation. I'm also the Olympic sports manager. And Rory, let's go to you.
Hey guys, I'm Rory Whetstone. I'll be covering golf, baseball, and swim for you. But golf's about to wrap up their fall season, so it'll mainly be baseball and swim moving forward.
I'm Dylan Heinrich. I am currently the soccer writer here, and I will be writing women's basketball momentarily as that season continues to ramp up. So it'll be busy October and especially busy November for me going forward.
Ooh, yeah, it will be.
And then I'm Matthew Gustafson, the volleyball and wrestling beat writer, alongside, I guess being the third string emergency backup swimming writer now. And
yeah.
The bench.
Got a weird schedule, guys.
Rory is
He's an emergency goalie.
Yeah.
He's the e-bug.
Yes, I am.
We're just going to throw him in for anything as we need.
Emergency backup reporter.
We'll put him in the pool with the swimmers. Like he'll get that close-up look.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. I'll talk to Coach Grievers about it. Reporting from underwater.
I could do like the was it Colin Jost was in Tahiti?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God.
That'll just be me.
Can we get him?
Could you imagine, like, we go live to Matthew in the pool. Matthew.
Get him some goggles.
Rory can do sideline and Matthew's in the water.
Matthew's really struggling, but I think he's fine.
I'm tweeting from in the Mizzou Aquatic Center pool.
Is there a lifeguard on duty? Oh my God. Anyway. So let's enough funny business. Guys, we have a show to do. It's time for some in-season sports updates. We will start with our sickly friend Dylan. The Tires are coming off a close loss to Tennessee.
Yeah, so
why don't you tell us about it?
Played one game last week after a couple really good results. Just couldn't pull it out. Lose 1-0 in Knoxville last Friday to a Tennessee team that is still undefeated in SEC play. It was pretty close, 1-0. I believe it was Jada Thomas got the goal off a corner kick for Tennessee. It was a very back and forth game. Both teams put 7 shots on net. The real difference was Tennessee was able to get 8 corner kicks just to Mizzou's 1. We've seen that Missouri kind of lives and dies by those corner kicks. They're able to score on a lot of them on one end, like we saw in the Florida game, but then get scored along when it comes back the other way, like we saw this game. Like I mentioned, 7 shots for Missouri. It was 3 on goal, so had to force the keeper to make a couple key saves for Tennessee. It was pretty back and forth, pretty even all game, but just couldn't quite do enough in a tough road environment to get the win. I don't think this is something incredibly to be discouraged by, just something where it's like, you aren't quite putting yourself in that top tier division. You aren't able to compete with some of those top tier teams, but you still kept it close against a very good team. You still feel a little bit better, especially even when we were recording this show like 2 weeks ago, you would say.
Right. Totally different, actually. I feel much better about it. So where are they standings wise now after that?
So currently they are tied with 3 other teams for the 11th spots in the SEC. 4 points. So that number 12 seed is the cutoff for the playoffs. So they're right now juggling that line. I know the other teams are Oklahoma, Alabama, Florida. I know they hold the tiebreaker over Florida because of the head-to-head win. They will play Florida this year. And then I looked up the tiebreaker, but I don't have it memorized for Alabama because they tied. Just know it's very complicated, and praise that we don't get anywhere near that, and they're able to kind of move on. Upcoming this week, it's a very Jekyll and Hyde situation as they play Ole Miss, who is 0-5 in the conference and has not picked up a single SEC point and has frankly not
Love
looked
to
good.
hear it.
And it's in Columbia, Missouri as well, and that's the game Thursday. So just flat out telling you, like, you at least you have to get 1 point, but should pick up the 3 with minimal difficulty. Then you travel to Mississippi State, who, if you remember, Mizzou lost to Arkansas 8-2. Mississippi State beat Arkansas, so that's encouraging sign. But I remember talking to Coach Golan, and she was like, "Yeah, that
glass half full over there, Dylan."
that Arkansas game was an anomaly. It was like the expected goal was 3-1, maybe instead of the 8-2. It just seemed that everything was getting shot on net, just wasn't in the right spot. So if you are looking ahead to that Mississippi State game, it should not be 6 goals or anywhere near it. It should be somewhere in the realm of like a 3-1, 3-0 matchup. But I do think that Missouri will put up a much better showing, especially after seeing what a team as talented as Arkansas can do. Mississippi State, they should come out better prepared. But I think you can kind of throw away that whole result if you put up those 3 against Ole Miss and kind of put yourself continuing in that driver's seat to the SEC tournaments.
So going back to Tennessee for a second, I know that they didn't actually score any goals, but who'd you think kind of had the best performances?
Yeah, I think there were a couple. I'm going to give it a shout out to just the freshman group as a whole. There was no Kylie Simmons playing in this game. The reason was undisclosed. We should know a little more come Thursday and by the end of this weekend, but the freshman definitely stepped up in her absence. Landis Canada finished with 1 shot on goal. Emily DeRucky finished with 1 shot on goal on 2 shots. McKenna Moran hasn't seen a lot of action, but she came off the bench, also got a shot. So this entire midfield to forward core group as a whole, these freshmen, we've seen Coach Golan being able to bring in more and more of her talents. These sophomores, these juniors, sophomores, freshmen that are all part of her recruiting class are all kind of figuring things out, especially early on. So I think this is another very strong freshman class they have going on. And I think that these freshmen, especially someone like Emily DeRucky, could be an impact make or break player in some of these closer games down the stretch.
And then before I let you go, do you have another Tiger Targets coming?
Yes, that will be what is my focus on writing tomorrow. And so we will be ready to publish.
What day is it? Like, I really was like, I don't remember what day it is, even though we always record on Tuesdays.
Tiger Targets on Thursday. Gotta love some alliterations.
And then how's that Landis Canada feature coming?
So I have little insider information. Landis Canada, very good friends with Kylie Simmons on the team. Those two have developed quite a strong bond. So for whatever reason, if you're listening to this, Toby, I still need that Kylie Simmons interview. The email's around, just putting it out into the universe. But once that gets done, should be continuing to move along. But Landis, great interviewer. Pleasure to talk with her, and just excited to get to tell a little bit more of her story as the only Michigan girl on the squad this year.
Did you ask her how much she loves her J1050 class? No.
I wish I would have, I will say.
Oh.
I'm sure it's the best class in all the land. Just a
Yeah.
hunch.
It ends in 3 days. In 3 days, I'll get a semblance of my life back. I mean, I like my class. It's an online class. I like the class. It just, grading takes a long time. That's all I will say. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Dylan. If you need to go rest, go ahead. I will allow you to leave this podcasting space.
Have fun,
You're
y'all.
so
I'm gonna
kind.
go to bed.
Hope you feel better. Dylan has a midterm or something on Thursday, so he will not be at the game covering it, but he will watch and recap it once he gets home. Moving on to Matthew, you can scoot over. I don't know what's happening here.
He said, I'm not going to scoot over. I'm just going to disappear.
Right. I know. He's like, not only will I
He's like,
not
"Hold on,
scoot
I said it
over,
better."
bye. So, Matthew, on to you. Oh my God, I wasn't going to laugh this episode, and look at me just carrying on. I blame Rory. You hear that, Dad? I blame Rory.
Wait, you're calling me funny then, right? Yeah.
You are funny. You are funny. And I like laughing. Anyway, volleyball. Matthew, what's wrong with our Tigers?
Well, why don't I just start with what happened on Sunday? The team looks like it may be in a little bit of a slump, like I talked about last week. Key opportunity against Texas A&M. They end up getting reverse swept, and it wasn't any better on Sunday against 13th ranked Kentucky. In Lexington, they got swept, and it was not particularly close. They lose 18-25, 20-25, and 21-25. They hit below 200 in each of the 3 sets. Meanwhile, Kentucky hit above 275 in all 3 sets. Mizzou finished with a 103 hitting percentage. Kentucky with a 303 hitting percentage. Unsurprisingly, Michael Vernon, the leader of the offense, 9 kills, 333 hitting percentage. She really heated up in that final set and helped make it close. Colleen Finney also once again stood out on the offensive end. Again, she's not going to get you double-digit kills every night. She's going to probably get you somewhere around 5 to 8, but she's really good in getting those 5 to 8. She had 6 kills on 8 attempts for a 750 hitting percentage. But those were really the main positives. Jordan Iliff had a lot of struggles in this one. She had 4 kills, but 6 attack errors, a negative 105 hitting percentage. Janet Demaray with 7 kills, 9 attack errors, and a negative .077 hitting percentage. This was a night where the offense just could not get in gear. They also struggled with serve receive, at times made some mistakes that have popped up throughout the year. So why don't I talk about the issues that we're seeing with the team right now, right?
Well, wait, first, so let's look at some nice things. Here we've got Colleen Finney taking somebody out at the knees. That was cool. And then this was I didn't actually mean to pull that one up first. I meant to pull up this one for Michael Vernon. And then I'll let you talk about all the bad stuff. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Michael Vernon, 200 career blocks. That's pretty awesome. She continues to do very, very well. I'm very, very impressed by her. And then finally, one more good thing. Maya Sands with an ace. She was featured quite a lot on their social media, so I feel like she was one that did pretty well.
Outside of Colleen Finney, Sands is probably the most consistent player on this team. There's a reason she was SEC Libero of the Year last year, right? She is an excellent libero, and with all the other stuff going on with the team, sometimes she kind of fades into the background just because she's so reliable that you don't always necessarily notice her. But I can guarantee you the team would look a lot different if she was not on the court.
All right, so let's get to what their issues are.
Well, let's start with the positives. This has been an excellent offense so far this season, right? They are third in the SEC in hitting percentage. They led the SEC in kills before this weekend. They are second in the SEC in kills right now. Both really strong indicators that they are both, getting a lot of production on offense, and they're getting production efficiently on offense. But here's the issue. You have your three main hitters, right? Jordan Iliff, Michael Vernon, Janet Demeray. And when one of them is struggling, they are able to pretty much just stay on track without a problem. But if two of them are struggling at the same time, like we saw against A&M, like we saw against Kentucky, then the offense grinds to a halt, right? You cannot have two hitters with negative hitting percentages that are two people that you're supposed to be relying on. Michael Vernon has stepped up a lot in these last two matches when Iliff and Demeray have both been going through a pretty big rough patch at the same time. But, despite how good Vernon was against A&M, even then, she couldn't do it all by herself, right? And you saw that in the fifth set, where she took 14 to 25 swings. She had something like a 144 hitting percentage. If there's only one player who's being effective on the attack among your main hitters, they're going to be able to target them with the blocking, and that's going to limit their effectiveness. They can't do it by themselves. Yeah. So that is the offensive side. Now, the defensive side is, if the offense is not firing on all the cylinders, think the first year of Dennis Gates, right, making the second round of the NCAA tournament. But when they were hitting a lot of threes, things were going well, right? But when the offense bogged down, it was ugly to watch. Mizzou is currently second to last in hitting percentage allowed in the SEC. They are also currently last in the SEC in blocks. So essentially, the offense, its efficiency has been making up for a defense that has struggled so far, has made it too easy on opposing offenses. And when the offense isn't holding up its end of the bargain, they can't make up for it on the defensive side. Serve receive was something they struggled with last year, and it has once again been an issue. They have allowed the second most aces of any SEC team at 1.38%, only in front of Oklahoma, who's allowing 1.53%. So essentially, they're going to need to make some defensive improvements if they want to get back on track this season. They're also going to need to be more consistent individually on the offensive end. I think that Jordan Iliff will eventually get out of kind of the slump that she's been in. Janet Demeray has had a little bit of a down year so far, but last year, really, it took one big offensive outing for her to kind of start gaining steam. So I think that may be something to watch for again. If she can have one big match where she gets something like 17, 18, 20 or more kills, then that could be a positive indicator that she can get back on track. But at this point, great offense, struggling defense. They need to up the defense. They need to be a little bit more consistent per player on offense, because right now they are in a little bit of a slump, and they have a lot of matches still to go. A lot of matches this week. 3 matches this week. Yeah. Wednesday, SEMO, that's the final non-con of the season. Friday, they're going up against Alabama, who is one of the bottom-tier programs in the SEC. And then Sunday, you have Tennessee, who is receiving votes, but they were highly ranked preseason. They were picked to be, I believe, top 5 in the SEC. and they have not looked like a top 25 team. They have not looked like a top 5 SEC team. So that is going to be a very
Love to see
interesting match to watch. Can they take advantage of a Tennessee team that has not performed to expectations? But by the same token, this Mizzou team hasn't necessarily performed to its expectations so far this year either.
Yeah.
So that is going to be a very interesting one to watch. If you're going to watch any of the matches this weekend, Tennessee is the one to keep an eye on.
If you're going to watch any of the matches this weekend, it should be all of them. But I'll allow you to skip SEMO because that's non-con. It's just how I feel. I'm a pusher. I want you to watch Mizzou volleyball and enjoy it.
It's a 4-game homestand. You have the 3 this week, and the next Sunday is going to be against Mississippi State. To put that in context, Mizzou swept LSU in Baton Rouge. LSU swept Mississippi State in Starkville. So that should be another fairly comfortable win for this team if they're performing the way that they can. 3-1 is the realistic expectation for that homestand. But like I said, that Tennessee one could be kind of a toss-up. And if they go 4-0, then I think you start to feel somewhat confident in this team again. You feel like they've gotten out of that slump.
So is there different personnel that Coach Sullivan could put in while people are struggling, or is the drop off in the talent too much that you just still kind of like, if DeMarie's struggling, is there somebody else that can go in her place, or is her struggling still going to be better than like the next level?
So something interesting about the team this year, they've kind of shifted up the way that they go about things strategically. For example, Janet Demaray played all 6 rotations last year, and now they're subbing in a defensive specialist, Carolise Perez-Catila. And that's part of why it's kind of surprising to me that they've struggled in servicing, because usually they'll have Sand, Perez-Catila, who was the WAC Libero of the year last year, and then either Iliff or Vernon in the back row. But it hasn't made as much of a difference as I think they would have liked it to have. And I do think that Demaray is likely going to be better than the options they can bring in, although Naomi Franco has looked really good. She is mainly a right-side hitter, though, which is where Jordan Iliff is at. And obviously, you're not going to move Jordan Iliff anywhere because she is your most talented player. But I think that one of the other factors is Demaray is a big piece of the future, because after this year, Iliff and Vernon are gone, and she's shown a lot of potential. She is a former top recruit as well. So I think that Demaray has the ability to put it together. It's just that she's been kind of overshadowed by the fantastic duo so far of Iliff and Vernon. I think that she'll be able to get back on track, but she has had some moments where she's kind of faded into the background more than I would have expected this season.
Well, and it really, like, that was just the name I thought of. It really isn't anything against her. But I was like, well, obviously they're not going to take out Jordan Iliff. She's like the ace queen. But I was like, who else was he talking about? And I was like, oh, yeah, her. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Good to know. And then, do you know who your next, as for what you're working on next, do you know who your next interview is going to be for your wildly popular Over the Net series?
It's a little uncertain. I'm currently working on that. I have a target, but the timing may not line up this week, unfortunately, because obviously there's Wednesday,
so many
Friday.
games too.
You have I'll be covering baseball, the Fall World Series on Thursday. So it is possible that we will unfortunately not be able to have a new episode of Over the Net this week, but I will make sure to keep people updated on that.
Well, and we've been going it went every other week this last time too. So I think that's our podcasting needs are taking care of at Rock M at the moment. So I think it's
I think that was also kind of like a scheduling issue there as well. So
that too. We'll just say it's in every other week.
For now. for now.
Thank you, Matthew.
I would like to add one more thing, though.
Oh.
Something encouraging to end on. This staff has shown an ability to develop over the course of the season, right? Last year's team at the beginning of the year, completely different from the team at the end of the year. They were picked to finish second to last in the SEC. They ended up being in the top half of the conference, going to the second round of the NCAA tournament. So this is a staff which has seen a team that's struggling at times before and taken them to a completely different level. So there is the possibility for a bounce back, possibility for growth. And I think that this Missouri Tigers team has not come close to reaching the peak of their abilities yet.
I would agree with that. I'm really excited to get to see them play in so many games this weekend. I feel like it's, I feel like it's been a long time since we've actually set foot in Hearns to see them. So I'm pretty psyched about it. All right. Well, thank you, Matthew. And then we will go to our very good golf team.
Guys, moving from the depressing of volleyball of whatever
Words I didn't think would be spoken, but are kind of right now.
This golf team has gone off in the past couple of weeks. I know last week obviously didn't do as well as they wanted to. They finished towards the bottom of the standings in their tournament, but they went to Lawrence in the state that shall not be named, and they came out in top 2 with that 7 over score. And it was just, they should be really proud of this score. I want to talk about Melanie Walker for just a minute. She was brought on as an individual. So the team brought 5 players who you see from Jade Zamora all the way down there. So those were on the team. That's what contributes to that team score. Melanie Walker does not contribute to that. However, she can, Mizzou still attached to her name. So that's why her placement still is on that.
So is it kind of like how Abigail talks about sometimes, like it's almost like they're unattached, like they're like an exhibition?
Yeah.
Almost. Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's a good way of like correlating that. So yeah, so Mizzou's still with her. It matters for the school. However, it doesn't go to that team score. But Addie Dobson, sorry guys, I'm all over the place. But Melanie Walker is just a player that I put in an article about a week-ish ago that she's kind of want to look out for towards the season. You hadn't really seen her break out into those standings up there. Normally, when I think of Mizzou women's golf, you kind of go to Fleur Van Beek or Addie Dobson or Fiona Tinan, and that's kind of who your mind goes to there, just based off of standings from these few tournaments this fall season. But Melanie Walker last year as a sophomore was named SEC Golfer of the Week, and it was the first one in school history.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She's an incredible golfer. She just hadn't quite broke through yet this season. And this is what I was waiting for, a top 2 finish. I believe that she hasn't done that since 2 years ago at home when she took second at the Johnny Imes Invitational. I could be wrong on that. I know she had 2 top 5 finishes last year, but I don't know if it was second place for those. But she's a big leader of this team when it comes to big time tournaments. She's qualified for the U.S. Women's Amateur. She's just not only a great golfer, but she's majoring in chemical engineering too, which I just think is so cool to have that as your major and then to go out and do this.
It's a badass major.
Exactly. So she's just really cool to me. I think she did a great job this tournament. I'm super excited for what this means going forward. They have another tournament in about 10 days in the Bahamas. So expect her back on the team roster of things. But moving forward for spring season, just again, a huge player that I think everybody should look out for. But again, you see that top 2 finish for them. Jade Zamora posted an even par 72 to finish the tournament. It was her second career top 10 finish. Addie Dobson, also first career top 10 finish. Just as a team, they're really coming together, which kind of almost like isn't fun because you only have one tournament left in this part of the season. They're finally clicking in a gear, moving up the ranks, and it's like, and pause.
Yeah.
But
pause for winter.
Yeah. So some snow's going to come. So hold on. But just a lot to look forward to heading into this Texas A&M series. But yeah, just 5 of them in the top 20 from this tournament, technically 4 on that team sheet, 3 in the top 10, an unnamed team won it all. Can't say it, but
the team that shall not be named.
The team who shall not be named, but overall, just a really impressive finish from this Missouri women's golf team. I said it towards the beginning of the year that it's something you should look out for. I really thought they had the talent to do some pretty impressive things this season, and I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, that's really cool. So what I was thinking of, I know you're also going to be doing some baseball writing, but I think it would be cool to do some sort of wrap up at the end of fall season on kind of what you notice and what they can kind of focus on, look forward to in the spring when they
I fully agree with that. I think that would be a cool piece to kind of see where they are all at individually too, not just kind of as a team moving forward into that spring season, because again, the way that golf works over the 2 seasons it's a lot to remember then in the spring and how everybody did individually, and you lose track over a couple months. So especially with a sport like golf, yes, it's a team sport, but also so individual. So
yeah, awesome. And then next up for you, baseball, who's getting ready to play against themselves.
So it's called the Fall World Series against themselves. I don't necessarily know the difference between this and the black and gold scrimmages that they've had.
Right. Like, why don't we just call it Black and Gold Part 2?
It's the same thing. So why the name change? But I am excited. I think we will kind of have that softball issue that you ran into with no names on the back of jerseys, which will kind of be hard to keep track of. They went to UIC this past weekend. Right? They went to UIC this past weekend. I have no news on that. I wish I could tell you a ton about it. There's nothing on social media. There's nothing on MU Tigers. There's nothing from UIC.
It's like it never happened.
Yeah.
Are we sure it happened?
Yeah.
I mean, it did get postponed to
that first time.
Another, yeah. So maybe.
I would just like to say, I think that across most of the Olympic sports, right? So baseball, softball, soccer, volleyball, right, that have kind of that spring or fall schedule, the off-season scrimmages that they play, just release stats. Like, you let people into the games, you advertise the games, you put a schedule online. If you're going to do all of that, it's not a big secret. Just give us the stats.
I don't understand, not necessarily even just for fans of the game, but family too.
Right.
I guess where are they? I don't know, finding all the it's frustrating because they plug it on social media hey, we're going to UIC. Oh, you want to know how we did? No.
Too bad.
I can guarantee you that they have the stats, right? I mean,
would
be foolish if
that's somebody's job.
The stats from that game.
I would assume that they have the stats now with softball. So that first softball game where they won 11-3, but SID Eric wasn't there because he was with volleyball, and I left at the end of the 8th inning, and it was 10-2 or something. And I sent him a message and was like, "Hey, do you know what was the final score of the game?" And he was like, "I actually don't know." I'm like, what? You're the SAT. How do you not know?
Okay.
But this baseball thing just confuses me. Why are we calling it a World Series? I'm like, oh, we don't know why don't we know who the opponents are? Oh, the opponents are themselves? That's why they need to play that many games against themselves. At some point, you have to go against other people to see what you're made of, or whatever. Well, because like I just know, like with softball, like Larissa would always say, before games start in February, she's like, they're so tired of playing against themselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 1,000%.
Like they're ready to face other people than Lauren Krings every day. Like, let him face somebody else. And I don't know. It's just crazy to me. I mean, obviously we're not the coaches. We don't know better than Carrick Jackson, but I just think it's crazy that they're going to play this many games against themselves. I don't know.
I mean, to be fair on the softball side, though, if I was a hitter, I wouldn't want to face Lauren Krings every day either.
I know that was a poor example.
The other thing too is like, obviously I'm not in their shoes. I'm not a collegiate athlete, but if you're playing the same people over and over,
you could have been a soccer player, Rory. Humble.
Yeah, right.
So
sorry,
humble.
guys. You know me, my high school soccer days. Played since I was like 5. I don't know. Like, it's when you're playing against the same people, like it's just so redundant that you're almost not learning anything new.
Right.
Like you're not growing. Like, and I feel like Mizzou, unfortunately, their track record in the SEC has not seen that like steadily improvement. And it's like, I don't know if that's what you can pin it on. Like there are so many factors that goes into that, but it's like that's kind of my take is like, why aren't you trying? And again, I don't know exactly the logistics of everything with fall ball, but I don't know. It's just kind of frustrating.
But like, why are they only? Why is
well.
the only team they face UIC?
Mm-hmm.
Like softball's facing countless different teams.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I just don't. It's so weird to me. So yeah, we have some games coming up that we'll be trying to cover.
Yeah, I'll be there Friday, Saturday. Friday.
Matthew will be there Thursday. So we can watch Mizzou take on itself. And then Rory will be there Friday and Saturday to also watch Mizzou take on itself. I've heard that's a ranked matchup.
Yeah. Players are really looking forward to it.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean
we'll have some takeaways from that, assuming we can figure out who the people are. I mean, like
that will, and I just looked. They have a slot on the Mizzou website for a 2024 fall roster. They have the 2024 roster from the season in the spring, but there currently isn't an updated roster since the end of the season.
There's players that transferred out.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
And players have transferred in. So this is going to be an endeavor. And if you want some entertainment on a Thursday, make sure to follow along because I'm
really stressed out.
Someone's batting from Mizzou. Yeah. Someone's pitching also from Mizzou.
Some people hit the ball really far.
Yeah. Who that person is, no idea. Especially, with the roster turnover that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is anybody supposed to know or cheer for anything? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'll be interested to see how this goes for you guys this weekend, and depending upon how terrible it is.
I just hope that some right people hear it or hear this segment of the podcast, because also if you go on MU Tigers and you try to see about UIC, they have a whole article about what's going on this weekend, where they're going, and then just no update about it. And like, neither does UIC. Like, I don't understand. It's not like they're trying to hide some like brutal loss, because UIC isn't going, oh, we just killed Missouri. Like,
right. You know, if they beat them, they'd probably be shouting it
exactly
from the rooftops.
And I mean, UIC is a solid baseball program.
They are.
They're solid in the MVC.
Mm-hmm.
They produce good players. So
it's a nice
that would be a solid win for this Mizzou baseball team. Now, as an SEC program, should you be aiming higher than beating one of the top Missouri Valley programs? Yeah, but at the same time, nothing is guaranteed with what we saw last year. This is very much a program in the beginning stages of a rebuild. Mm-hmm. So it would be an encouraging sign. And it's something that you would think that they would like to project.
Right. So annoying. so just, I'm not even writing about baseball and I'm annoyed. These other sports would never do that.
Never.
Never. Anyway, on to swimming and diving. So Rory and I went to the black and gold meet, and then Matthew joined us a little later on, and I forgot how hot it gets in the pool. It was a little toasty, but it was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
And the team seems so bought in. I really wish that I had recorded what Coach Grievers was talking to them about, because
I was fired up after his speech.
Oh my God, that was motivational as hell. Yeah, it was hard to. I know that you and I, Rory, were just like taking pictures of the scoreboard, like
literally just
trying to figure out, but like no reference point at all. So that was kind of a mess. I did a crap ton of research on Friday night after Dave Matter graciously sent me the results. And then I was not expecting to. So I was texting back and forth with Dave Matter, like, can I talk to Coach Grievers? Can I just email him? Like, and he was like, no, let me contact him first. And I was like, okay, I don't want to piss off Dave Matter. Or like I've met Coach Grievers several times. I know him because of his wife, but and in the past, when I've had a question, I've just emailed him and he's answered me. But I was like, well, I'll just ask Dave Matter about it. So he was like, no, I'll reach out. Maybe we can try again next week. I think he's busy. And then I wake up on Saturday morning to 3 missed calls from Matter Grievers. And I was like, oh, Dave did not tell me that he gave him my phone number, told him to call me. I had no idea. I was just like, oh crap. I feel really bad. But I did end up getting back in touch with them, luckily, during the A&M game. So it gave a nice, take my focus away from that monstrosity for a bit. But I talked to him for 20, 25 minutes. And he is on board with us covering them. He's like, whatever you guys want, you can talk to the assistants, you can talk to me. He's like, I will give you whatever you want. So I thought that's awesome. And then I was geeking out a little bit because I've known I used to coach at Hickman and Rockbridge. So he was an assistant then. And then his brother's a former world record holder. So that's amazing. So I was just geeking out about it. But I did put together quite a long piece about it after talking to him. I was kind of trying to preview the season a little bit, give a primer of who to watch for. So then if I'm not at the meet, if Rory or Matthew, if you guys are there, then you at least have an idea of kind of who to look for. But overall, Coach Grievers was really, really happy with how it went. A bunch of people swam best times, which is absolutely unheard of at an inter-squad meet. That does not happen. That does not happen. And he said they had just lifted really heavy, either the same day or the day before. You just don't expect at the beginning of the season for anybody to be swimming best times. But the girl that won the 500 free, Katie Gressick, she dropped 4 seconds.
Oh my God. 4 seconds in swim is a lot.
Right. And for a 500, after you were doing heavy lifting, that's crazy to me. even more crazy to me is the fact that freshman Luke Niebrick, he won the 50.
Mhm.
He dropped 0.4 of a second in a 50 free. People will go like years and not drop 0.4 of a second
Yeah.
in a 50 free. Like
You see
that is
Olympians struggle to drop like a 10th of a second off their time.
absolutely insane. I can't tell you. I was not a 50 freestyler, but I did swim it sometimes. Like
My brother was, yeah.
I like dropping 0.4 of a second is like a crazy drop. So he
Mhm.
went from a 20.2 to a 1981.
Wow.
And that's just, especially like when you get to that level where you're that good, like time drops just like that just don't, it doesn't happen. So that was wild. And then also the thing that he wanted to mention about that is that it makes him really excited for the sprint relays.
Yeah.
Because he's not even supposed to be the best 50 freestyler on the team. Like the guy that I talked about last week, Ethan Vance,
Mhm.
who's the under 18 national record
Yeah,
holder
national
in
team,
the
yeah.
50 free. Like I think he got second. I mean, he's supposed to be the best one. Luke beat that time. And then like senior Grant Boczynski, like he also can sprint. So they've got him. So they've got like, I can't remember who he said the fourth person was, but like they potentially got like, they really needed to address sprinting, he said, and they clearly have done that. So that's really cool. And then next up, I didn't understand at first. So they go to Arkansas, and I'm like, why is he only talking about the women? It's because there is no Arkansas men's team.
Okay.
So the women are headed to Fayetteville this weekend. They go on Saturday in a duel, and he said that they're pretty evenly matched, so that should be a pretty good competition. And then they'll return home, and Rory and Cal for pictures will be there to cover their first official home duel of the season against Purdue on the
I'm
24th.
excited.
I know.
I mean,
I
if
wish
they're dropping times like you said in an inter squad like that for competition season, like just not even like with swim, it's hard to go from meet to meet and consistently drop times. That doesn't always
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
But like the mindset that you have moving forward, if you're setting best times like right off the bat, I mean, that's a whole new ball game for them. And I want swim to get the attention that like it's one that pretty much everyone turns to solely during the Olympics, but it's so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch.
It is so fun to watch. And we also talked about they've got like a boatload of divers this year. And he did acknowledge that like while they don't have these roster issues that will be coming because of the House decision and the revenue sharing stuff, so what they're going to use them while they have them. And then he said, difficult decisions will have to be made about that. And I said, like, I had written something for Rockham about this previously. So I know that I'm going to try to sit down with him later to kind of talk through that whole mess. Like Mizzou's got kind of a smaller team as it is. So there's not like huge cuts that have to come. I don't even think like the proposed roster minimum for the women, I don't even think Mizzou had as many women as were allowed, but they were over on the men for the proposed roster limits by like 4 or something like that. But then like he and I were talking about like Florida, for instance, has a team of almost 50 people. And they are gonna like have to cut like half their team. It makes me sad. Stupid. That's all I have to say about that. It's stupid. So we're excited to provide swimming and diving coverage for the team this year. It made me miss it a lot. I'm surprised. I was like, I thought I'd just be able to just be like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm just like, damn it. I want to watch it all. I didn't anticipate this happening. They've got me involved now. Quick update for tennis. They are headed to Memphis. I didn't look at what the tournament was called. I forgot.
I think it's the ITA Regional Championships.
Thank you.
It's
Then
the
we
first
got a
time
little.
they've been in action in quite a while.
Yeah, I feel like it has been a while
three.
because their updates come like so intermittently. It's hard to keep track of what they're actually doing. So here they are at the country club, their home tennis facility, because the school won't pay for a Division I SEC school to have a working facility because we are in desperate need of football upgrades. So yeah, they will be headed to Memphis. We'll see how they do. There's only like 7 people on the team. I think like it is like a really, really small team, mostly international players. So we'll just keep an eye on that. A couple of quick softball updates. Fall ball is continuing. They have 2 games this week. Thursday, they play against, I don't even know how to say the name of this school, Kaskaskia College.
You got it.
Oh, look at me.
Kaskaskia, known for there was a huge indigenous civilization there. Or wait, no, near there, because there was Cahokia Mounds, and I believe that's near Kaskaskia.
Oh, I've been to Cahokia Mounds. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so look, they're not playing against themselves. I mean, they're probably going to annihilate Kaskaskia College. But still playing against another team. So that's on Thursday at 5. And then they also are playing Illinois on Saturday at 2. So I don't know if that means that there won't be a bragging rights softball edition in the regular season or not. Just like I'm not sure if there was going to be a border showdown with Kansas because they just played them. So I was going to say, so over the weekend they played UMKC. Like Rory said, nothing on social media. Nobody knows how it went. I even went hunting for stuff. Didn't see anything at all. They played KU on Sunday and won 14-10, which seems like a football score. The reason why I know about that one is because Abby Hayes' father goes to all the games and takes photos. And he took action, and then I follow that Mizzou softball pics or whatever it's called on Instagram where he posts them all. And so he took a picture of the scoreboard and it said 14-10. And then some softball insiders that I found were at the game and said that Mizzou is actually up 11-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Lily Witten, who I had put in my takeaways from the last game, struggled. She really struggled here. She gave up 5 runs. And then they brought in Taylor Pinnell. She was scoreless, allowed no runs. Cece Harrison pitched 2 innings. She didn't allow any runs. Natalie Touche, who was like my MVP of the first game, she pitched 2 innings. She allowed 2 runs. I'm still wondering where Marissa McCann is. It's quite possible that she pitched the UMKC game, but I know like she did not play in that Missouri State game. Maybe she played in the UMKC game. If she had pitched in the KU game, I am confident that the recap-ish thing that I was looking at would have mentioned it. So I don't know what's going on there. I hope she's fine. I mean, she's been at the games. Dylan took that photo of her on his photography excursion where she's like staring at him dead-eyed. One of the pictures, and it's so funny. And then the last thing I was going to say, normally I won't talk about recruiting, especially not 2026, but Larissa Anderson has been on a bit of a heater recently. Like, she's been putting out bat signals left and right. So they've added 3 players in the last week. So the newest one is Caitlin Knight. She's the number 15 player per extra inning softball in the 2026 class. The cool thing I thought about her, I looked through her social media, is that after she visited Mizzou, she actually visited Duke, Duke, noted Tiger killer, and picked Mizzou. So I thought that was pretty cool. They also got another commitment from Katie Gilliam, who, per Brandon Haynes, is a shortstop from South Carolina. She's a top 100 level player. I saw on her social media she also visited South Carolina. I'm assuming she visited some other places too, but I didn't scroll back that far. So she's another good pickup. And then the newest one is Hadley Borders out of Louisville. She picked Mizzou over Kentucky and Mississippi State. I couldn't really find anything about her position or anything. So that's all I got for softball.
Before we move on, though, I would like to clarify. I apologize, I got my Illinois history mixed up. Kaskaskia is about an hour and a half south of Cahokia, but it is known for being the first ever state capital of Illinois for
Really?
1 year before they moved it. So
that is a fun fact, Matthew.
That's why I remember the name. Another fun fact, one of the state capitals of Illinois, because of the Mississippi River shifting, is now disconnected from the rest of the state, and it used to be the state capital.
Really?
Yep. Good story.
You were full of knowledge, sir. Full of knowledge. Full of Illinois trivia.
Wait, looking at maps, that is Kaskaskia. It's on the other side of the river.
Huh.
So yeah.
I think that they played them last year too, and I just didn't. I don't think I went to any fall ball games last year, actually, but I'm pretty sure that they played them in fall ball last year too.
Hey everyone, my name's Abigail, and here is a quick check-in in the Missouri distance program news this week. First of all, Missouri got one of its first 2025 commits to the distance program. Her name is Kobe Walker. She comes from Australia, and she comes with a 4:30.17 1500 meter personal best and a 9:35.83 personal best in the 3K. She's all the way from Australia, as I mentioned, but in her commitment post expressed just a ton of excitement for the fan base here. And this is a distance program that already has several athletes from Australia and New Zealand and an incredibly in-depth and thorough international squad on its roster. So it's not rare for distance athletes and jumps athletes to travel a long way from home. She's also really cool because she has a developed personal brand. She has her own business called Kobe's Kitchen, where she sells a variety of salts and seasoning packets. She has chicken salt, Mexican mix, tikka masala, and a mixed multi-pack. And she has a really cool story alongside of it, wants to make meal prepping easy, healthy, and affordable for young parents who are constantly on the run or athletes who are looking to literally spice up their dinner time prep meals a little bit. So that's super cool. Be sure to check her out on Instagram and just kind of get excited about a new commit. As for the rankings this week, following the USTFCCCA check-in, the Missouri men notched up one more spot. They are currently at 4th in the Midwest region, which is only 2 away from qualifying for nationals. The top 2 teams in each region automatically qualify for nationals. Now, they are definitely nearing some giants, including Loyola Chicago, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State and Iowa State are just juggernauts in this distance program and nationally in the conversation. But still, cracking into that top 4 is massive for them. On the women's side, they just dropped 1 spot and are now in 10th spot, right behind that team from Kansas that we don't like. So that's all the updates I have for today, and I will check back in with you guys next week.
So next we're gonna go to out of season sports. We just have a couple of things back. I've got a gymnastics update, obviously. And Matthew's got a wrestling update. Yeah. So the cat's out of the bag. We know the secret. Helen Hu is back. She's back. My favorite part of the video was actually that they used the Slim Shady music for the one that they put out on Instagram. But yeah, just another Katie White creative masterpiece. Like, this thing is so well put together. I love that I'm not going to turn on the volume for it, but like, I love that they worked in like the best part of her routines. I thought it was really clever how they move from like, oh, she's doing this move on the beam, and now she's this. I think it's at the Missouri Theater. So well done. So excited. The Gym Turnette, yes, that is a real place. Exploded. Sadly enough, there was far more excitement, it seemed, among like gymnastics fans like around the country, like no matter what their allegiance is to a school, than we saw from any Mizzou media people or stuff. Like, barely anybody even covered it, which makes it hurts my soul, you guys, that
for what it's worth, I was really excited.
What?
For what it's worth, I was really excited.
You were really excited. And if you listen to my very special edition podcast that I recorded with the Man-Eaters, Nate Salzman, where we talked for 45 glorious minutes about Mizzou gymnastics, and probably could have gone on forever if I was not dying from hunger, we shared some of the tweets of people reacting, and one of them was Matthew's. Yeah, we got that one in there. So I encourage everyone to go listen to that. So what it means for the team. So she is so insanely good. So she ranks second all time on bars, behind only Mara Tatarsely, who got a 10 last year. She's got a couple of 9.95s to her belt there. And then on beam, she ranks third all time. She's scored 9.975s multiple times. The only people in front of her are Sienna Schreiber, who got a 10 last year. And there's another person that in recent memory, before I started covering them, also got a 10. So she's only behind people who have gotten perfect scores. In her final year in 2023, she scored a 9.9 plus on beam in 10 out of 13 meets. So that's pretty unreal. She was second team All-American, All-SEC. She's just phenomenal. So they posted the team picture, which, if you notice the architecture behind them, that is clearly the J School Amphitheater. But instead of sharing that one, I'm going to share with you my photograph. Wait. So this was the photo that I was sent by an unnamed J School professor. She will remain nameless. I will protect my source until she decides to be revealed. So this is the photo that she sent me. And that's my chicken scratch trying to figure out who each person is. And then like above Helen in the top middle, I'm like, who is that? Who is that? And that's when we freaked out. Yeah, that's when, like Rory just did with her hands, like mind blown. So the funny thing when I was talking to Nate about this is that he said he saw Helen right away. And then he saw Helen, he saw Amari, because Amari's signature hair, like, she sticks out. she saw Jocelyn, and she's like, oh, this is an old, he's like, oh, this is an old picture. But then he's like looking at it and he's like, wait, there's Kaya, there's Rayleigh. And so he's like messaging me in all caps, like, when is this from? Karen, when is this picture from? Like, what is this? And I was like, it just happened. It was like, it did not even register to me for 1 second that it possibly could have been Helen, because I'm like, she retired and she spent the last year traveling all over the world, like literally the world. And yeah, so she's back. Some very lucky people who reached out to the SID about interviewing her are going to get to go to a press conference, virtual press conference with Shan Welker and Helen on Friday morning. I love that. I actually really do love that they only included the people who reached out. So it's like me, Nate Salzman, somebody from KOMU, and then like people from like gymnastics publications. So I think that that's pretty cool. That they aren't just like readily providing this information to just like the masses. And then we'll have a chance to actually see her and the rest of the team on Saturday. Still undetermined on what time that's at. They were supposed to tell me 3 different times now. Still don't know what time it's at. But we will get to see her and the rest of the team at open practice at some point on Saturday. So lots of cool gymnastics things incoming. But yeah, I encourage everybody to check out my fun-filled time with Nate. And I think he and I are going to plan to try to do a couple more during the season, just so we can geek out over routines and stuff, and he can continue teaching me skills. So yeah, pretty excited about that. Okay, Matthew.
All right.
Wrestling.
One final update to the Kaskaskia thing, I promise. Apparently,
oh my God.
Nowhere near Kaskaskia, Illinois. Explain that one to me. It's in Centralia, which is east of St. Louis, not south. Explain that one to me. I'm sorry. I just to clarify for people, Kaskaskia, Illinois, not in the same place as Kaskaskia College. Makes no sense whatsoever. That's the end of it. I promise. All right. So, Intermat.
And now I'll be able to sleep knowing that information.
Intermat released their preseason rankings, and they listed all 10 Mizzou presumed starters in their top 35 for each weight class. Notably, Keegan O'Toole was ranked number 1 at 174 pounds. Now, the thing that I found interesting about these rankings, they have some of these wrestlers ranked lower than the Flow Wrestling rankings, but they have them ranked higher than the Flow Wrestling rankings, but the team ranking is actually lower than the one in Flow Wrestling. Once again, explain that one to me. But going through, I'm just going to look at some of the highlights. James Conway appears to be pretty much solidified as the starter, or at least the heavy favorite at this point to start at 157 pounds. That's been the biggest question mark this offseason, who would start and replace Brock Mahler, who graduated. Seth Nitzel seems to be pretty much a lock at heavyweight, 285 pounds, to replace Zach Elam. Looking at this roster right now, I would say national title contenders obviously have Keegan O'Toole. Rocky Elam is in the top 5. Guys who I could definitely see being All-Americans this year. Noah Certain was ranked as high as 3rd last season. Josh Edmond, who finished 1 round short. You have Colton Hawks, finished 1 round short, right? Logan Joffrey was in the top 10 at one point before having that injury. And then looking at some of the wild cards, Cade Moore, I think he's going to have a fantastic season. He's kind of a wild card, but I really think that he is going to be one of the best wrestlers on this team heading into the future as well. I think he has enormous potential, as does Cam Steed, although he's had some injury issues. So a lot of promise on this team, and I think that given that I think some of these wrestlers are underranked and have the ability to move up, the fact that they're ranked 7th and 8th in the preseason ratings tells you just how much upside this team has.
And then I was going to share one more. They shared a nice little hype video of them working together, doing good for the community, it looks like. So that was nice.
Yeah, I think it was a team building training exercise that they're showing right there.
From a scary looking large man.
Well, to be fair, that's kind of a lot of coaches in wrestling and wrestlers as well are just like intimidating looking large people.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
Is why the training regimen they're showing is no joke. Said it is one of the most intense sports, probably the only sport where you go, oh, I tore my ACL. Yeah, I'm still going to go out and compete and win a national championship anyway. You know, you have guys who've won national championships on torn ACL, people who have had herniated discs and gone out and won national titles, stuff like that. People have had torn hamstrings, broken, legs that have been broken, things like that. It is, I think Brian Smith last year, the head coach, said it's a gladiator sport.
Yeah.
It is a gladiator sport, and it is unique from anything else that college athletics has to offer.
It's true. It's true. I'll be really excited to see this whole Beauty and the Beast thing come back together.
I am pumped about that.
So Rory, they do this. I think the last time they did it was like 2019, where wrestling and gymnastics will do something side by side. So like at Mizzou Arena, it'll be wrestling here and gymnastics here, like going along.
I think it's back to back in the Hearn Center.
What?
Wait, that's so interesting.
Yeah, I think it
was at Mizzou Arena the last time they did it.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So they're apparently going to do that again, but we have the wrestling schedule, but no one has gymnastics schedules. No one has any freaking idea who they're going against or when. It is driving me insane.
So Mizzou's just keeping us all on our toes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
They just insist on doing rude things like that. So hopefully at some point, I'll probably try to ask on Saturday. The new SID probably thinks I'm the most annoying person on the planet as much as I email him, but I'm just like, I just need to know things, Brian.
Just
doing so much. You're the best. Yeah. So the last thing I was going to put up is to review here is all the things going on campus this week. So yeah, volleyball, baseball, softball, soccer, volleyball, softball, volleyball. Like there's just massive opportunities to watch the Tigers either play against actual opponents, or if you're the baseball team, play against yourselves. That's the same thing. So yeah, just lots of opportunities to watch the Tigers. And then the only other thing I was going to say is I'll put up the graphic next time because it's not pertinent at this time, but Cal did share something on our Slack channel about they're going to start implementing the clear bag policy at all Mizzou athletic events, starting with women's basketball's home opener, I believe, which is so annoying to me because then that's just another bag I have to bring with me to work. Yeah, so I don't know why they're doing that. Whatever. They don't pay me to make the decisions. Maybe it's safety. Whatever. Safety.
Safety. That will just
crazy.
I know. Well, one of my Joni Straub, communications director and noted Tiger hater, Tiger football hater, I should say. She was like, even at baseball, because her kids, one of her kids plays baseball at Rockbridge or Hickman, one of the Columbia schools, and so they often will go to games. And she's like, "Wait, does it cover baseball too?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think it covers every single sport.
Yeah.
So, yikes. So, anyway, that's about all from us here. Please head to rockmnation.com, support the work of so many student journalists and really amazing other writers as well. Last week we put out 46 articles. That's a lot of articles. You can also support us by subscribing to this podcast on RockM Radio. You can sign up for rockm.plus. It is $5 a month. And then you should follow us all on social media. You can follow me at Karen Steger. Matthew is at M_Gustafson27. Did I do it right?
You did.
Better, at least. Yes!
You did. You got it.
That's an accomplishment.
Oh my gosh. Yay! And at Dylan R. Heinrich, who is no longer with us. He's not dead.
I was going to say, he's making us
that came out weird. At Rory Whetstone 7 in the what?
I said, please pay your respects on his Twitter.
Dylan, I heard you died. That sucks, man. Anyway, you should still follow him. He is alive, very much so. At Dylan R. Heinrich. You can follow Rory at Rory Whetstone 7, and Abigail is not with us, but you can follow her at Abigail_clap with a K. Clap! Thank you for joining us. See you next time. MIZ!
ZOU!
That was perfect! Oh my god. Go Tigers. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to RockM Radio, a proud partner of Fans First Sports Network. RockM Radio is the official podcast network of RockM Plus, a new and exciting subscription service provided by me and the other voices of RockM Radio. Please take a few moments to head over to rockm.plus and sign up for an account today. The cost is only $5 a month, and the benefits include access to our live podcast, a subscriber-only message board, weekly newsletters, and more. If you enjoyed this episode of RockM Radio and would like to see more just like it beamed directly into your personal device, make sure to click the subscribe button below and tell your friends. Our podcast feed is available through the Apple Podcast app for iPhone, Google Podcast app for Android, whatever app you listen to your podcast. You can also find RockM Radio on Spotify. If you're looking for a podcast about your favorite team that is not the Missouri Tigers, Fan First Sports Network is your answer. A full podcast network loaded with the team-specific podcasts covering Major League Baseball, the NFL, NHL, NBA, MLS, and more. And we'll be back with more episodes of RockM Radio coming to you soon.